When you want to set a boundary, the first step is to set your line, meaning is to define what you want, what is acceptable for you. So on Reddit, there's a lot of posts talking about how the family members are always asking them to financially support them or helping them out in some way. And they would keep asking for help and asking for help to the point where the poster is getting resentful, saying, why is it that it's always me who's giving? Why is it so unfair that they keep asking me to support them? And they are in conflict because on one end they do want to help, but it's asking for too much, or they feel like it's unfair, and when they try to stand up for themselves, they get very guilty about doing that. So one of the things that I always talk about is to define your line. Because a lot of times when we want to set out a boundary, you can't set a boundary until you actually know what you're willing to give, how much you want to give, and where your line is. Because if this line is very blurry, it doesn't matter how much you say no, the other person will keep pushing back against you. They may cry, they may yell at you, they may give you the silent treatment. And if they had already been doing those things, these behaviors are going to intensify to the point where it's okay, I would rather give in and take care of them than to stand firm on your line. If you don't have a line, you don't even know where to stand. So that's why I always say you have to define your line. So here are some questions that you may want to think about in terms of setting this line. So if it's a financial request or a time request, you may want to think about how much am I willing to give, what is too much that I'm no longer willing to give, or what the frequency is, or even what exactly your actions are when they actually push against you. And so you have to anticipate for all of those behaviors that is going to come at you, so you can prepare yourself to stand up for yourself. If they are to yell at you, how are you going to respond back? If they're going to hit you, how are you going to react? How are you going to fight back for yourself? If they're going to give you the silent treatment, how are you going to deal with the situation? And majority of the time, they are doing those things because it had been working. It had been working, so then they're going to double down on making you change your behavior so that you will comply with them. And so when you have set your line and you have anticipated for all of those behaviors, and then now you can say, okay, this is what I'm comfortable with giving, and this is how I'm going to respond in regards to anticipate for all of those behaviors. So for those of you who are in this situation, I invite you to define this line. Whenever you need some more resources, I have a set of videos and free resources so that you can use those to help you set your boundary. Because this part is part of defining or redefining who you are in this world, not based on what your parents are saying, not based on what the society is dictating for you to do. This is for you that is most aligned with your heart. That's all I have for today. Until next time.